Lord, Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. People, my people, we back. Where I have to give you all of what's gonna happen right now. Okay, the footage for episode 110, which is supposed to be this episode. I don't have it. I've since gone ahead in the face of the franchise because I thought I had it. It was on my system. I put it on the USB. Put it on my computer. I'm like a few episodes ahead at all times, and I feel like what happened was I I got it off the USB, put it on the computer, and I didn't wait for a thumbnail to pop up. I thought it had enough time. I don't know. I just don't know. I thought I gave it enough time. Like I thought I did to register on the system, on the computer. It was on the system. It was like an hour-long video. I was like, boy, we got it all lined up. We got it all organized, and it just no, no, no. It's not. It was not in order. I'm really into this organizational thing I've been having going, man. We got all the episodes in line. This is not easy, y'all. It's not. It's not. It's not easy to stay this organized, baby. No, sir. It is really not. It's tough. It's hard. Especially when people don't care. And it's not so much that I care that you don't care. I don't care that you care. You know, like not having a fan or people that really watch this, guess what? I get to keep this athlete mentality really as long as I feel like it. I can give it up whenever I'm ready. I don't really anticipate giving it up. Ain't nobody gonna stop supporting me because they think I'm too old or something, you know? Because that happens. You get fans, you go get famous. Can't be no rapper past a certain age unless you're really good, you know? And then even then, it's like, man, people gonna love who they love. People gonna be fans of who they fans of, regardless as to how old they are, right? But when we talk about football, I guess not everybody can be like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, right? At least not in real life, but on this game, I could probably play till I'm 50. If it don't keep glitching, right? If I remain organized enough. So this is the gameplay that we lost. The lost footage, my people. I'm on the Saints, okay, postseason schedule because I'm ahead. I don't want you to see. I just want to convey to you the story that I don't have for the footage of this game. So I have to tell this from the New Orleans Saints perspective from this screen. It's just, I'm irked right now, man, because this has to be a stand-in for an episode with footage that really tells our story. The tape doesn't lie. Okay. And right now we don't have the tape. I mean, deleted it off the system, and it's like I thought my organization was flawless, was crisp, and it's not. And I'm kicking myself right now, cause it's like I got the footage on the computer, and I can't remember. I was tired, man. Maybe I just cut the computer off before it got the chance to really register the footage and it might have corrupted it. This is a sensitive matter that I take seriously, and yet at some point I just drop the ball like a receiver when you get hit by Buda Baker. I just dropped the ball like a quarterback when I sack him and he don't know how to hold on. He throwing it, but he got hit at the same. I made a bad pass and I can't blame nobody, y'all. I take the blame for not having 110, episode 110, the lost footage. This is the conference championship game, telling the story of the adversity. In this game, I didn't know it, but Deshaun Watson, our quarterback for the Cardinals, because you see my gamer tag is not the CPU, I'm the Cardinals, but I'm on the Saints roster, I'm on the Saints postseason schedule, showing the L they took to us. And I hadn't known it, but Deshaun Watson was on the injury reserve. So the quarterback was not in the game. And I see, well, you know, it's a Bill Russell type thing. When I look at this box score, I look at who, what, who won, who lost. I know this is the only important part of it, but there was a story, there was an aesthetic, there were emotions that I cherished, memories that I cherished, that I lived in, that I experienced, that makes every aspect of the game, win, lose, or draw, oh so much more sweeter. And I lost that, man, after capturing it. Because that's the beauty of it. It's called a capture for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. We capture everything. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't. Telling the Saints story. We're going to start right here. Box score of the wild card game. Okay? Buccaneers. Look at that offense. 500 yards, 504 yards gained to the Saints 282. This is an NFC South rivalry game played in the dome, in that third Superdome. Bucks had over 100 yards, so that the Saints had about 100. But the Bucks and Gardner Minshew was dicing them up in the pocket. 26 offensive first downs to the Saints 14. 394 offensive pass yards to the Saints 182. So the question now is how? A 6-point lead. How do the Saints win this game? Because clearly 500 yards gained on offense only yielded them a touchdown in the second quarter a touchdown in the third quarter for Tampa Bay. You see what I'm talking about? New Orleans scores a touchdown in the second quarter to Tampa Bay's 3 points, and then Tampa Bay scores a touchdown in the third quarter, but then the fourth quarter rolls around and New Orleans ties it at the end of the game. Punt yards. Punt return yards. 9 for Tampa, 8 for New Orleans. Kick return yards. 54 for Tampa, 80 for New Orleans. They had a good day in the kick return. Offense combined with total yards gained and special teams, Tampa beats them 567 to New Orleans 370. Now here is really where the story is. Right here. The turnover differential. New Orleans has 1 turnover, but Tampa has 2. That right there, that was what lost the game. More third down convert. I mean, Tampa plays a perfect game, okay? All right. Except for that. They outclassing them in almost everything except for red zone offense percentage. So this graphic right here tells me that Tampa probably got that score on a chunk play. Or did they? How about this? How many times did they get into the red zone? We don't see it. It just says red zone offensive percentage. So 66% for New Orleans, but they scored 1 touchdown, 1 field goal, same both ways for both teams. Tampa was penalized 60 yards, man. Had the ball for a little over 6 minutes or so longer. The game, in all honesty, it was going Tampa's way until it seemed like in the fourth quarter, New Orleans scored that late field goal. Let's look at player stats. Starting with the Buccaneers. Gardner Minshew. Other quarterbacks didn't seem to, okay, well, he might have played, but he threw a pick. Ugh. Gardner Minshew, a guy who we talk a lot about sometimes or have talked about in the past on this channel in certain videos. Almost 400 yards passing, 91.6 QBR, 0 touchdowns and a pick. They threw 2 interceptions in this game. That's the 2 turnovers right there. 25 yards past the longest, and he was sacked 3 times. 38 of 49, 77% completion rating, 8 yards per average attempt. My man's was basically a first down every time he dropped back. Rushing numbers. Playoff Lenny, 13 carries, 68 yards, averaging 5.2 yards per carry. No fumble, no touchdown, 3 broken tackles, 1 yard after contact. 9 yards was his longest run. Rashad, okay, 4 carries, 16 yards, 4.4 yards a carry. No touchdown, no fumble. 6 yards his longest run. They didn't give Leonard all the carries here. What's that? 13 plus 4 is 17. Plus 3 is 23. I guess you count these as sacks. 24, 20, I guess 25 carries right there. A graphic that this game typically holds true to. Like, they will make sure they run the ball 25 times. Maybe not with the one guy that's starting back, but it's most likely 25. I've never really, I mean, maybe they do prioritize that with like 30 carries. Because at some point at this level, with all the talent that's around the field, it becomes a thinking man in the numbers game. You can call it, oh, well, you got to have this, you got to have speed, you got to have that, you got to have size. It becomes a coach's game at this level. In college, in high school, we can rely on the superior talent of the athletes on each team. We could say we got all the best kids and your kids, you know, aren't that good. You couldn't get those kids that we get. We feed our kids differently. We breed our kids differently over here. You could do that at the lower level, college and in high school and even in the little league. This is the pros. All of these kids, grown men at this stage come from that. I was bred differently. I was built different. It's everybody's competitive as you know what. People like to say that there's a such thing as parity, and there is. But that only exists because you would look at someone like Leonard Fournette and say he's 6 feet tall, 230, and doesn't run a 4.3. Might not be the best back in the world, but he actually is very good. You got to come over here. The box score and the game film. That is what gives you the best estimation of a player and a team and what they did. Looking at the wide receiving core. You got Hanson, the tight end, 8 catches, 104 yards. I see he's second. I see he's second. Chris Godwin, number 14. 8 catches, 108 yards. Let's go over the averages. No, let's keep going. Russell Gage Jr., 7 catches, 72 yards. Mike Evans for 8 catches and 65 yards. What is that about? Averaging 8.1 yards per catch. Leonard Fournette, 5 catches, 22 yards. Mo Alley Cox, 2 catches, 23 yards. Mo Alley Cox average is pretty good, but my boy Mike Evans, like, they saying Godwin is the best receiver on this team now, and I get it. Evans, 11th year, been in the league a while, and he's starting to slow down. Who knows? Big receiver. Godwin's more of your good height, not great height at that position. Good size, not great size at that position. Not tremendous size at that position. But I was talking about this, that 6 feet, 6'1", or less than 6'1", or less than 6'3", and less than 220-pound frame can kind of sneak better into the holes in the open areas of a defense, because when you big and you take up so much space, in that cover 3 from the 3-4 scheme, the precision on that pass to that 6'3", 220 plus receiver has to be on a frozen rope, man. If that's a slant, you can get him the good passes on the sidelines, he most likely gonna get it. Go up there, get that sideline catch while keeping both feet, or even better, a knee, but it's tough to do. Keeping both feet in bounds. Yeah. But when you're talking about those quick routes into those holes of the zone, and he got a lot of size, he covers so much ground, it's to the point to where it's like, again, the window can close up real easily, because you can now be just as big, close that much ground. You see what I'm saying? And you can kind of get there. The hole can close up real quick for a receiver his size. The pass has to be on time and on target. Now, when you got a guy like Godwin, who, again, he's smaller, so he can fit into these like really tight windows and holes of a zone. Just that little sliver that he can get with a precise pass, of course, can get him. He without covering so much ground, it's harder to really cover these smaller receivers. It really is, because when you think about it, it's like, well, they don't take up that much ground, so they can fake you out. They can fit in so many pockets of a zone. A big receiver, he takes up so much ground, so much space, that it's easy to collapse on him, especially when the ball is being thrown to him. It's easy to hit him in stride, but more so on those long bomb routes. This is why Calvin Johnson Jr. is perennially known, as a deep threat receiver. Because at 6'5", about Mike Evans size, maybe 10 pounds heavier, and running a 4.3 backwards, why are we trying to ask him to be over the middle? No. Hit him up top. Randy Moss, 6'4". Speedster, more known for his abilities down the field as a deep threat. Now, it's not like Randy never caught passes across the middle. It's not like Calvin Johnson never caught passes across the middle. But a lot of Calvin's highlights are those deep throws, those comeback routes, and those stick routes. This is football theory, postulating of a football theory. You ain't got to take what I'm saying as the truth or fact or what's right or what is football. You don't got to do that. But I'm telling you now, this is football theory. And as a football theorist, I can postulate. Now, back to the box score. I'm looking at this receiving core thing. I'm like, man, the touchdown's not there. The rack is there for Godwin. He had the highest everything in this, except for the longest catch. So that 25-yard pass that my boy Gardner Minshew ran through was a long touchdown to him. But I'm not seeing any offensive touchdowns except for this one right here by Dustin Lynn. So you telling me that what this dude did was in the third quarter, he ran the ball in for 3 yards somewhere in the red zone and was able to get them their long touchdown. So Minshew must have came out of the game at some point. Yeah. We're not seeing any. Okay, so on his side, 2 sacks given up. Which, if I'm not mistaken, looking at Gardner Minshew, he was sacked 3 times. So perhaps maybe he tried to run out of the pocket, you know, and he got caught lacking. Defense. Logan Wilson. Not the high man. Levante David. Most tackles, okay. Assisted. Okay. Stovall. Logan. Okay. Vita Vea. Okay. Tackles all together. Logan. Okay. Tackles for loss. Okay. Now I saw Minshew was sacked 3 times. It said it in the box scores. That's the problem, man. These box scores be so off. Where are the other 2 sacks? Who was accountable for those 2 sacks? 1 pick from Shaquille Barrett. 5-yard return. 2 passes were deflected. Okay. This game was a defensive stalwart, ladies and gentlemen. This game was a defensive stalwart. Simply put. Here, we're going to look at the Saints, who did in fact win the game. Mac Jones, that boy gave us problems in the gameplay. We won't be able to show it to you, but he gave us issues in the gameplay. Okay, Kamara was a beast against us, you know. Michael Thomas, like, there was a situation in the game against the Saints where we felt like we wasn't gonna win it. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna take a look at this one here. I'm not gonna do too much commentary, too much talk. We're just gonna look at the box score here. Man, they got more pass yards than Washington, but they didn't get more rush yards. They got more first downs, but they didn't get no punt return yards. And Washington had more kick return yards, more total yards gained. But Washington, again, this Saints defense caused 2 turnovers. Maybe unforced errors, maybe forced errors. The Saints scored a 2-point conversion. 2 touchdowns scored in the fourth quarter by New Orleans to Washington's 1. And then it was a 21-all game at halftime. A 28-all game by the end of the third quarter. And when Washington scored 8 points to get 36, I'm not understanding, like, what's going on? Why did New Orleans have 15 points to Washington's 8? I'm guessing what happened was New Orleans scored a touchdown, and then they got what? Where is it at? They got a 2-point conversion in the fourth quarter to make it 15 points to get them the 7-point separation, because Washington went for 2. They ain't get it. How they get 8 points? Was there a safety? Let's take a look. 2 picks by Russell Wilson, 2 turnovers. Okay. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 64 yards on 16 attempts, 2 touchdowns, had a fumble. Not good. Terry McLaurin balled out this game. 6 catches, 167 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. Dotson, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Dotson, 6 catches, 69 yards. Okay. Y'all saw it. Y'all saw it. You seen it. Let me see. Was there a safety? There was. Deatrick Wise Jr. We had a safety. So I'm guessing in the 4th quarter, Washington only kicked 2 field goals. No. I don't know. I mean, come on now. How did they get, seriously, how did they get 8 points in the 4th quarter with no 2-point conversions to speak of? They must have, I'm guessing. Let's just see it. Yeah, they must have missed an extra point. It doesn't say they did though. It says 4-4. 100%. He did miss a field goal. They ain't missed no extra points. I don't understand how you score 8 points. I don't understand how you score 8 points with just a safety, no missed extra points, and what, a touchdown? You seeing what I see. I'm exposing it. It's a flaw. You complaining about everything. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. There's no complaint over here. I don't care. That's what happened. This is this game. I'm showing you the stats leading up to our game. And then I give you a blow-by-blow. That's what we're going to have to do that. A blow-by-blow for episode 110. You can skip it if you want. You got the most important detail. We win with no game footage to show. It just irks me. It boils my blood. Let's get to this game. So, yeah, it's as simple as that, y'all. We spanked these boys. Okay? You should already know that I got my game going, right? Y'all know how I play. We outdid them on offense. Did they even score a touchdown? We had 4 turnovers to their 2. But we had 6 third down conversions to their 2. We scored a touchdown every time in the red zone, and they did not, and they only got field goals. So this is why they only scored 6 points. The defense shut that offense down. Mac had a 52.7 completion rating, 119 yards, 1 pick, no touchdowns. He got sacked 20 times. You know who did that. 10 of 18, 55% completion. The run game, for a second, I thought Kamara was going to beast us. I thought he was going to do us dirty, but nah. And Mac Jones fumbled the ball twice. Let me see. He had almost a 4-yard carry average. He had a 15-yard run, which really was kind of irking me. But it's like, nah. Emotions in check. We stopped them. Michael Thomas didn't have 100 yards receiving. Olave had a big catch down the field that we shut it down real quick. We really clamped them with that. The box score would indicate that the way that I play is just, it's not even fair. Let me see, 4 sacks. 4 sacks, 2, 3, 4 picks. Defense did the best they could to shut down this offense. But let's face it, when you start playing with a deficit or behind in a game, as a defense, that could be tough. That could be tough. Your back is against the wall, and now you need to bail your team out every chance you get. How about my quarterback? He threw 4 picks. No Watson, he was injured. 71.1 QBR, 419 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 4 picks. He got sacked 4 times. He threw a 28-yard pass, the longest. 30 of 47 for 63%, and he was basically a first down every time he threw the ball. Connor didn't have a great day, but wasn't a bad day by any standard whatsoever. 25 carries, like seriously, we did it by the book, ladies and gentlemen. 25 rush attempts, less than 100 yards, not averaging, I want to say, is that 25 yards per rush, or no, 25 carries, 100 yards. So what is that, like 2, 4? Somebody help me do this math while I do it real quick. Beat me to the punch. Let's do it. 25 yards per carry, or 25 attempts divided by 100 yards, right? Right? 25 attempts, 100 yards. That's 2.5 yards per carry. I mean, that's what I got. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. But man, oh man, oh man. 19 tackles, 19 solo, no assists, 19 tackles, all of them were sacks. We knew I was MVP going into this game. Let's just face that. Forced fumbles, 2. That eye black is scary. We did that to him. See, sacking the quarterback and just not even giving them a chance to establish a rhythm. Seriously, couldn't really throw the ball. This is on 15-minute quarters. Not giving them an opportunity to establish a rhythm. Forcing him into some bad throws sometimes, or rushing his ability to make decisions by putting him in a position to have to throw quick. And again, constantly hitting him, keeping his attempts less than 20, 30, completion percentage less than 6. It really just starts with controlling the line of scrimmage. I mean, you wreak all sorts of havoc in the pass rush, and all of a sudden he can't throw for first downs every time. He can't get to 60% completions. He don't get more than 20 attempts. He don't throw nothing longer than a 25-yard pass. His QBR is 52.7. He don't throw over 150 yards. He don't get no touchdown. He only throws a pick. Games like this make coaches feel like we got to move on. And this is why you're starting to see, like, okay, they are assessing the box score a lot more, because I'm playing on like a Lawrence Taylor, Bruce Smith, Reggie White type of level. Seriously. To be getting all those sacks, I didn't get them all. My man Garrett, he helped. he helped a little bit, not a lot of it, but a little bit. But to get this many sacks in a game, with the way that I'm working it, 5 down linemen, forcing running backs or whoever's in that backfield when they got a shotgun set to have to block and force them into situations where they do what we tell them to do. and they don't want to do that. They don't want to play ball, and that is just basically their demise. We're going to just keep sacking you. Man, this is how we won this game. That graphic right there alone says it all. It prevented the offense from getting into any kind of rhythm. When the quarterback is getting sacked, I don't know if teams want to run the ball like that. Maybe they should start to, but it seems like, well, it doesn't matter, does it? Does it? Why are we running the ball when because that's another thing. If our offense starts scoring, you get down late or you get down early, and for some reason there's no trusting of the process. Everybody just wants to start flinging the ball all over the place because they're tired of being down, and they feel like theoretically passing the ball all over the place is how you win games in the NFL. Every single team in the NFL right now is running some form of variation of spread, pistol, or RPO. And people don't know the difference between read, pass, option, and option. It's the same thing in concept. Option concept. But the option, which is ran mostly by service academies, traditionally ran out of either an under center set, flex bone, wishbone. You can do it under the pro, but mainly derived from the flex bone, the wishbone, the single wing with the H-back. Get on the internet and look this stuff up, okay? Fake the handoff to the up back, which is usually where the fullback lines up in the wishbone or in the flex bone, maybe by like a yard behind the quarterback under center. Two backs to the left and the right, H-backs. What is an H-back? Look up the power I. How the fullback, you got a back right to the right of the fullback and a halfback, the power I, which comes from the single wing. What is the single wing? The wildcat. The punt formation. The same thing. The Dolphins took the lead by storm when they were doing it. The single wing. The old school formation where you could punt the ball or you could throw the ball. You literally be 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So it was tough for you to get pressure on a quarterback that far back. But it became outdated or antiquated because it's like, well, if he does get hit, now we done backed ourselves up an entire 10 yards behind the original line of scrimmage. Which is kind of why the gun started to kind of be deviated from and more blockers in, because teams like the Falcons were sending tons of pressure. The Grits Blitz in the early 90s, Jerry Glanville, the man in black, sending every linebacker on the roster on the field at the time. Forcing you to make a quick read or a quick throw, and the corners know you're going to try to throw the ball deep. You're going to want to come back. You're going to want a slant route. You don't have time for a post pattern to develop. You don't have time for no cheesy route combination where he fakes to the out route and then cuts back in when you got all that pressure coming. And you ain't got enough guys in the block, because it's going to be, you send 7 guys out. You got 5 on the O-line, right? You keep a fullback and a halfback back to pass block, and now you got 3 receivers out there, but you still got what? 3 receivers, 7 guys blocking. That's 10 people. Who's the 11th man on the field? The man throwing. Three receivers, 7 guys blocking, 10 guys, or 1 guy throwing the ball versus the defense. 7 guys against 7 guys rushing and blocking. 4 DBs to 3 receivers. Corners get left on an island. Safeties double team the tight end. No check down. Wait for a route to develop. No time. Pockets collapsing. Run out of there. Don't do that. Slide. Nowhere to go. You've been surrounded. This is theoretical, ladies and gentlemen, but this is how a lot of games in the 90s went, and why running the ball was such a big deal. Keeping the defense honest. You blitz too much and you out of the gaps, not minding the gaps, play action. This is why 90s football was always and it will always be king. Today's era of football, sending a bunch of guys out to run a pass pattern, more receivers, 3 receiver set, tight end, running back, running a pass pattern, 5 receivers on the field, get rid of the ball quick. 5 receivers on the field, five receivers on the field, 5 guys blocking, 1 man trying to throw it, versus a defense that has 5 guys down on the line, no pass protection outside of that, 6 guys blitzing. He better have a quick read to get rid of that ball before that pressure gets there. Because once it gets there, and with the speed rush that I bring, it's almost inevitable that we're going to get these types of numbers. Simply because you got 5 guys blocking 5 down linemen. Technically, my D linemen are blocking. It's like we got a defensive line working like an O line. They all blocking. What are they blocking? They're blocking the linemen from picking me up and forcing a 5th receiver to now work as a 6th lineman or a 6th blocker, and that's not his forte as a running back. It's not a halfback's forte. And yet the game, after seeing me do what I do, has refused to streamline and prioritize the fullback position enough to where, the 49ers are doing it with Hughes check, keeping him on the field in the passing situations, which lets us know, okay, we should know he's going to stay in the block. I think in a few of those games I was even saying, okay, they got Hughes check back there. I'm not blitzing. I'm going to just cover this area where they think they finna get that quick read because they think I'm finna blitz. And then all man, computer, and AI starts changing the play. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Why are you changing the look? Because you knew that I knew you were going to go for that quick hit 9 route right past the line, right past the first down marker, and possibly be able to get a big play out of it. But I was going to jump on it, and I was going to be in the area, and for some odd reason, we know why, the all-man computer just refuses to throw the ball if I'm at least 2 or 3 yards away. If I'm like more than 3 yards away, they'll thread the needle. But if I'm over there, no. They will look me off every single time. The perfection of the mechanics of the all-Madden computer work against it, so much so that the thinking man, which is what I am, the football theorist and purist, which is what I am, will set you up every single time, will dice you up in a defensive standpoint every single time into having to take what we give you outside of what it is that you really want. That is what irks an offense to no end. How are we able to, seriously, how will we be able to get what we want when that's what we're predicated on, but we can't simply because what? Because we don't have the opportunities to get what we want. We want our number 1 guy going down the field every single chance, or better yet, we want to dice him up every single play. And we don't have time for certain routes to develop. It has to be quick hits. And there's only a few routes that work on those quick hits. The hitch route, that 9, that go route, that streak down the sideline. Okay? That flat pass. Anything really honestly less than 10 yards. Otherwise, if it's a go route for 10 yards, just toss it up. But if it's a stop or a hitch or a comeback for 10 yards, and then you gotta what? Wait for him to stop. You can't just toss it up. You gotta wait for him to stop and hit him on time, on target, precise. And that's the issue with that. Do you have 3 seconds? Maybe that's all it takes. Do you have the time for a stop, for a hitch route or a comeback route to develop Yeah, when you got a running back stand in the block. But why get that? Why take that? If we got the time, why not get a post pattern? Why not get something deep down the field on this 52 defense when we got a running back in the block? It's not that my defense is impregnable. It's that the game plan and the mentality of NFL teams today are to get vertical, check it down, crossers, drag route. It's so cheesy. It's almost unskillful. And you tell me that the game is designed, I said it too, the game is predicated on offenses being able to score. Or perhaps maybe offense is finding a way around certain defense. Because let's face it, the NFL's defenses are some of the toughest. You can play quarterback in this league, they want to pay you top dollar. Because the way that some of these defenders think, that DB swag, DB drip, that Mamba mentality, that constantly outthinking people. This is why, as much as I think every corner should be about my height and running a 4-3-4, this is why that's not constantly the case. Because at times, the corners and the safeties might be the best and most smartest players on the field. The linebackers might be the best and most smartest players on the field. The D linemen might be the best and most smartest players on the field. It's not like on offense, where O-linemen are just big dumb guys. Or so they say, according to conventional wisdom and football theories. It's not like, oh, well, if you're 6'3", you can come across the middle in theory, when in all actuality, 6'3", you're good at bodying, smaller DBs. But if they run an effective zone, the window has to be, the slightest of margins can determine whether or not if you catch that pass or if you get crushed by a linebacker in the process of trying to catch it, possibly not even able to make the catch. Or even worse, you covering so much ground that the ball has to come out so much quicker, and that's just all the time most really good linebackers in the cover 3 needs a forced, quick, rushed throw. Whether there's pressure there or not, you telegraph it every single time, to the point where a linebacker is just going to jump on that thing and be gone. Linebacker with a football in this day and age, that's almost big man with football. 250, 260, 270. That's practically big man with football. Watch out. Seriously. You see some of these guys jumping on those slant routes. You see it because they know how offenses think. You got the same things over and over again. After a while of playing this game so long, you know what they're going to do. What we give them. And if they don't take what we give them, and they trying to take what they want, and that's where we capitalize. Too many times offenses are predicated on timing and the ability to throw the ball all over the field. Which is why, as much as the 3-4 is great, situational football. You're coming out on first down, second down, mostly running situations with 3 down linemen. We're going to go right up the gut on you. We're just going to run the ball on you. Unless, of course, you got those D and outside linebackers. We're going to have to go up the gut, and we're going to have to deal with those D tackles. Are we going to double team one of those guys? Because if we don't, then we're asking a center who may or may not be the best guy, may or may not be the biggest guy, to snap the ball and then instantly start blocking. As soon as the ball gets snapped, in most cases, most nose tackles are so close that they could just swipe at it, or even better, just get right at the center. That's the tough man. Blindside protector and center are the toughest positions on the offensive line. You gotta be the best, especially against a 3-4 defense with a nose tackle, or even worse, a defense like mine with 5 down linemen. There really is no assignment switches, unless, again, of course, you got a tight end helping out. okay? Or a fullback stand in the block, running back stand in the block. It just doesn't seem like there's an answer for what it is that I do other than get the ball out of there quick according to the conventional wisdom of today's league. Football theory class no longer in session, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in next time, episode 111, because as you see, we've won this game. I don't have the footage, but we won this game. So we will in fact be playing in the Super Bowl. Against who, we'll show you in the next video. I do apologize. I need to be better. That's why I love defense. Offense is all about getting what you want and exploiting mismatches. Seriously, it's all about getting what you want and exploiting mismatches. Putting yourself in a position to get what you want and exploit a mismatch. Tight end, running back, cheese. Defense is all about counters. It's like chess. You know what they want to do. They pull something new or extra, some wrinkle out. Okay. We can stop that. We're not really looking to do nothing but make a tackle. Everything in front of you, make a tackle. Everything in front of you, make a tackle. Defense is so stupid. Offense are the ones that come up with these gadget plays and stuff. Defense don't need all that. We just step up and make a tackle. That's cute. That's what we say. That's cute. That's kind of cute right there what you just did. But it didn't get you a first down. Those sorts of trick plays do not work. Offense scores and wins games. But defense wins championships. And this is why. I just explained why. Because while offenses are so busy trying to fool you, a defense don't gotta fool you. You know what we gonna do. Offense, we don't know what you gonna do. But defense, we know what we gonna do. You know what we gonna do too. A defense could do an offense's job. Stop the offense, get a turnover, and score points. Offense can't go out there and stop offenses and make tackles. They can't do that. Offense got one job, get in the end zone. Defense, we could take on the opportunity to score and capitalize if we play good defense. Good defense can result in turnovers and score points. Literally, defense can do the offense's job. The offense can't do the defense's job. The defense can do the offense's job while doing their job at the highest level. But the offense, even doing their job at the highest level, cannot do the defense's job. That would be a direct contravention of duty. If an offense has to make a tackle, that typically means it's because you turned the ball over. You didn't do your job. But the defense can make a tackle, force a turnover, and score touchdowns. And not only is that doing their job, that's going above and beyond. Football Theory 101. Get at me. Function with your boy.